In the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, where ancient sands whisper tales of old, lived a young boy named Fahd. He wasn't just any boy. He had a secret. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery oranges and soft purples, Fahd would sneak out to the vast, silent desert. He wasn't alone. Waiting for him were his friends, a wise old desert falcon named Sakar, a swift gazelle called Gazelle, and a patient, sturdy camel named Jamal. Together, they were the guardians of the planet. Their story began one fateful night under a sky full of stars. Fahd was stargazing when a shimmering light, like a falling tear from the cosmos, landed softly in the sand nearby. As he approached, the light pulsed and solidified into a beautiful, glowing seed. A voice, ancient and gentle as a desert wind, echoed in his mind. It was the voice of the earth itself. It spoke of a growing shadow, a creeping sickness caused by humanity's forgetfulness, pollution, waste, and a disregard for nature's delicate balance. The seed, the voice explained, was a seed of light, a beacon of hope. It was Fahd's destiny, with the help of his animal friends, to protect it and help it grow. Sakar, perched on a rocky outcrop, screeched in agreement. He would be the eyes in the sky, watching for any signs of the encroaching shadow. Gazelle, with her unparalleled speed, pledged to be the messenger, racing across the dunes to carry news and warnings. And Jamal, with his immense strength and endurance, would carry their burdens and navigate the harshest terrains. Fahd, with his human heart full of courage and compassion, was their leader. Their first mission came sooner than they expected. Sakar spotted a dark, oily slick creeping towards a precious oasis, the lifeblood for countless desert creatures. This was the work of the shadow, a physical manifestation of pollution. Fahd knew they had to act fast. He remembered the stories his grandfather told him of ancient desert plants that could absorb toxins from the soil. With Gazelle leading the way, they raced to a hidden canyon where these rare plants grew. Fahd carefully collected the seeds, his heart pounding with urgency. Jamal carried them in special pouches, his steady gait a comforting rhythm in the tense silence. When they reached the oasis, the sight was devastating. The once crystal clear water was now murky and lifeless. But they didn't despair. Fahd, guided by the wisdom of the earth, planted the seeds along the edge of the water. He then took the glowing seed of light from his satchel. Holding it aloft, he channeled all his hope and love for the planet into it. The seed of light pulsed brightly, its luminescence spreading like ripples across the water. It activated the seeds Fahd had planted, which began to sprout at an incredible rate. Their roots plunged deep into the sand, drawing the black slick towards them, absorbing the pollution like a sponge. The water began to clear, slowly at first, then with gathering speed. By dawn, the oasis was shimmering once more, a jewel of pure life in the vast desert. The animals that had fled began to return, their calls a symphony of gratitude. Their victory was a beacon of hope, but the guardians knew the fight was far from over. The shadow was cunning. It began to whisper in the ears of the people in the nearby towns, tempting them with promises of ease and wealth, encouraging them to build more, consume more, and forget the land that sustained them. Fahd saw new threats appearing. Mountains of plastic waste scarring the beautiful dunes and plumes of dark smoke choking the clear desert air. He realized that fighting the symptoms wasn't enough. They had to address the cause. He had to remind his own people of their sacred connection to the earth. It was a daunting task. How could a young boy convince a whole town to change its ways? He felt a moment of doubt, a cold fear gripping his heart. But then, he felt a gentle nudge. It was Jamal, his large, kind eyes full of unwavering trust. High above, Sakar let out a reassuring cry. Gazelle stood beside him, her presence a silent promise of support. He was not alone. Fahd decided to start small. He began by cleaning up the litter around the edge of his town, sorting it for recycling. At first, people just watched him, some curious, others dismissive. But Fahd persisted, day after day. He then started a small garden, using traditional, water-saving techniques his grandmother had taught him. He planted native trees and flowers, creating a small green haven that attracted birds and bees. His friends helped in their own unique ways. Gazelle would lead other children to Fahd's garden, her playful nature making it an adventure. Jamal would help carry water and compost, his gentle giant persona charming everyone he met. Sakar would put on dazzling aerial displays above the garden, drawing the attention of the whole town. Slowly, people started to notice. They saw the beauty Fahd was creating. They saw the life returning. Inspired by his unwavering dedication, other children started to join him. Soon, their parents followed. They started community cleanup drives. They began planting their own gardens. They talked about new ways to live in harmony with the desert, not just on it. Fahd shared the stories of the desert, the wisdom passed down through generations, reminding them that the earth was not a resource to be exploited, but a partner to be respected. One day, as the entire community gathered to plant a new grove of date palms, Fahd held up the seed of light. It no longer just glowed. It thrummed with a vibrant, powerful energy, reflecting the renewed spirit of the people. The shadow that had been looming over the town began to recede, unable to thrive in the presence of so much care and conscious effort. The air felt cleaner, the land looked healthier, and the hearts of the people were lighter. Fahd's greatest test, however, was yet to come. The shadow, angered by its defeat, gathered its remaining strength for one final assault. It manifested as a furious sandstorm, but this was no natural storm. The winds were black with soot and grit, carrying the concentrated pollution from far-off lands. It howled with a voice of despair, threatening to bury everything, to turn the desert into a lifeless wasteland forever. Panic spread through the town, but Fahd stood firm. He knew this was the ultimate battle. He rode Jamal to the highest dune, with Sakar circling above and Gazelle standing guard below. He held the seed of light towards the storm. This time, he didn't just project his own hope. He opened his heart and mind, becoming a channel for the collective hope of his entire community. He felt the courage of the children, the wisdom of the elders, the strength of the men and women, all pouring into him. The seed of light erupted in a blinding flash of pure, white energy. It shot a beam directly into the heart of the storm. For a moment, there was a terrible roar as light and shadow clashed. The wind shrieked, and the world seemed to hold its breath. Then, silence. The black clouds began to part. The soot and grit dissolved, turning into a gentle, cleansing rain, a rare and precious gift in the desert. As the sun broke through, a magnificent rainbow stretched across the sky, a promise of a new beginning. Fahd and the guardians had won. The shadow was not destroyed forever, for as long as there is forgetfulness, it can return. But now, there were more guardians. An entire community had awakened. They had become guardians of the planet in their own right. Fahd, standing with his loyal friends, looked out at the revitalized landscape. He knew his work was not done. It was a lifelong journey, but his heart was full, for he had helped his people remember the most important truths of all, that we are all connected, and in our unity and love for our home, we find the strength to protect it. Thank you so much for watching this story. If you believe in the power of hope and collective action to protect our beautiful planet, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales, and share this message with others. Together, we can all be guardians of the planet.